in this perspective. So this is where action replaces rhetoric. Where we need the very structural change. Which change has, number one, institutional commitment. African Voices International is an institution, an NGO that seeks to promote freedom in Africa. And as voices, we must adopt the habit of being part of policies that prioritizes or that represents well the African, or that represents well the African on board, and also advisory panels. And in doing this, not as symbolism, but as a strategic necessity. As we enjoy these freedoms in Africa, we must do this also strategically. Talk about institutional commitments. I want to also run us through leadership pipelines. We are African Voices International, and as African Voice, we must invest in training programs such as this. It serves as a platform where we learn. We seated here, it's as a result of we willing to gain something, taking something from here and then running it while we are off this place. And so mentorship networks for professionals as they are in our various fields. Also talk about diaspora integration when we talk of Africa on board. Do you know that the African diaspora holds vast experience in global industries? Do we know that? It is time to connect this expertise with continental opportunities. We are all not from Ghana right here. We have freedom legends, freedom giants. Fortunately, we don't have some of us joining us here, but as this session is being recorded, they may also get a glimpse of whatever happened here today. Let me use this opportunity to also say hello to our freedom legend from Senegal, right? Which country are you from, please? Yeah. Yes. Oh, you're here with us together. Yes. No, not you, please. Yes, yes. Sierra Leone. Okay. So, freedom giants or freedom legend, feel free and we welcome you to join this session. Thank you. Talk of Africa on board, I want us to go through this. Also, what I call the cross-border partnerships. Africa should not be a passive recipient of international agendas. No. Instead, African experts should co-design policies and partnership that will create innovations and also improve governance, or let me say governance standards. Africa on board also means technology and digital inclusion. As professionals, we all have our we must have a voice in the boardrooms. Wherever an African voice is, we must have a voice. So also, technology and digital inclusion, we must also have a voice right there. So all of these words shape, or all of these things shape the future of AI, biotechnology, for those of us who are specialized in that. So data privacy and cybersecurity. All of these include technology and digital inclusion. And so these technologies will profoundly affect the continent's future positively. That is where we are included. I want to also talk about Africa on board, where a call to action for leaders in this group. We are all leaders. And thus, we must always be called for action or called to action at any point in time where our services are needed. Today, I ask each of you here to take a deliberate step. Which step is to invite African experts into your boardrooms? Which step is to invest in African leadership development? Create advisory councils with African representation. We must also ensure that when we want Africa on board, we want Africa on board to shape not merely the rhetorics, but also receives the global agenda very well. And in all of this is not about charity or optics. This is about competitiveness, strategy, and shared prosperity. I won't take much of your time. Now in closing, Africa on board is not simply a theme. This is a movement, or this should be a movement toward a world where leadership reflects true global intelligence. A world where Africa's insights, creativity, and resilience guide decisions, which decisions shape our collective future. African Voices International, let us not wait for the future to arrive before making space for it. Africa is not emerging. Africa is already here. And it deserves a seat, not in the audience, but at the boardroom table also. And as change agents, as freedom giants, freedom legends, as honorables, ambassadors, we must champion this cause at every point in time. I thank you for your attention, and long live African Voices International and the Africa Prosper. Thank you.
We heard from our own film legend, film giant Ekow, who has said that Africa is not just a continent, but one that indeed needs a voice in the global table, in the global space, in the boardroom, how we all need to be involved in this process. This has actually been a wake-up call for each of you that in every area that as possible, forces to also contribute next year. We are very humble to give this speech and don't take it for granted. Today is going to be a very solemn day in our lives, and I'm more than happy. I also want to be more than happy, saying I am happy, not smiling on my face, but very happy in my spirit. Because we know that today's a day that's going to change and alter our destinies in a very explorative end. We just begun, and as we said, sometimes always confronting the battles. When you look at our logo, you see the lion, you see the sword, you see the rainbow, you see the star. The lion stands for roaring, the sword stands for fighting battle. We are always see different kinds of battles. That's what we are made up for. My other phrase was a year to deal with complex challenges. Complex challenges. We are still in 2025, so we are still in your defense. So we are still defending the vision in the course. We will never give in. Never. So we've had an issue, we've had a call from our highly esteemed Samad region. I don't know what's happening currently. He was coming through from Bonema here today, as it always comes every time for our program. There's a little bit late in the system. Yes, I'm president. I'm more than delighted to play every role as necessary. So I'll champion this cause as well, and we both come to how things should go. So we actually have one of our franchise who is actually standing at the back, observing us. I think she should work with the icon of the way she is at the back there, just observing how things are. Maybe she deserves to be at the CID headquarters, maybe investigating how things are going. Yes, but this first phase was supposed to be a channel whereby we have a short discourse about organization, so that you get to understand clearly certain things that are going on. So as you always, at every point in time, know that you're in the right place at the right time. So we call on here, that's our franchise family from the Beninois Atomic, who will come as we have a short interrogation on things. We will try on things so that we always know that we've never drifted in our journey, but we are still pursuing, we're still fighting, we're still moving on to get to an expected end. So we call on her to proceed on. This year, actually, there were, this if you realize now, WhatsApp channel page or groups, we've been putting lots of surveys every time. Every year, then you see a link. Fill this survey. No, ask you, like, wow, what's going on? It's been a survey year.